Lost Art with Andrew Cox, retired Master Gunnery Sergeant. thelostart.podbean.com. Get some merchandise and help support the podcast and getting our veteran voices out for all to hear. Now on all major podcast platforms. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Be a guest, tell your veteran story, discuss your veteran business or organization. Email The Lost Art with Andrew Cox at gmail.com. Andrew Cox, a Teal Valhalla Project Ambassador. See the project story at tealvalhallaproject.com. Thanks for tuning in. Please enjoy the podcast that's giving a voice to our veterans. The Lost Art with Andrew Cox.
Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the Lost Art Podcast, that podcast giving a voice to our veterans. I'm your host, Andrew Cox, and today we're having a fireside chat. So with that, I've got the crew here. I got 3 of the crew right now. There might be others joining us a little bit later. But if you're enjoying these podcasts, make sure you go to the website, check it out. That's thelostart.podbean.com. Go check it out, see what it's all about. Go in there, click on that merchandise tab, go get you some cool gear, get you a hat, get you a shirt, get you something cool. There is some new merchandise just put in there specifically for the fireside chat. So if you do enjoy the fireside chats, that's where some merchandise would be. Also want to give a big shout out to the Teal Valhalla Project. They are doing some incredible things. If you haven't heard about them, I encourage you to go check it out. That's tealvalhallaproject.com. They're doing some great stuff, and I thank them for letting me be an ambassador for them. All right, I got the crew, and we'll go round robin. Start with Mark. How you doing, Mark?
I'm doing great, Andrew. Southern California has kind of cooled down to a normal level of temperature. But of course, as always, we got the crazy politics, taxes, prices. Unbelievable. Just totally unbelievable. I was down in Texas where gasoline's about like $2.12 a gallon. And
oh wow,
$3 and $3.12 a gallon. It's $4.55 here. So,
good night.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, absolutely crazy. They got to get you somehow, though. That nice weather there. They do. It out of you.
It's kind of like sunshine tax.
I like it. All right, Mike, how you doing?
Doing good. Glad to see the week finally ended. I know Thursday we were talking how long the week was. Just kept going and going and going. I was doing good. Last night I was sitting there eating some popcorn, watching a movie, watching the Hallmark Channel.
Oh, okay.
I was chomping down on some popcorn. I was like, oh, what was that?
Uh-oh.
Like, man, that was a hard kernel.
Was that your tooth?
Half my tooth just split in half. And I was like, yeah, that's a tooth. So,
not a kernel.
Yeah. My wife got home this afternoon from work, and she was teaching today. But I said, man, look what my tooth did. And I showed her, and she goes, you're going to have to go get that fixed. I said, yeah, I'm going to have to go get it pulled out because I ain't getting it fixed.
Yeah, might as well.
I know they'll want to do a root canal and everything else. And it's like, no, I'm not. It's like, just yank it. Just get it out of there. Let's go.
It's probably way cheaper to just pull it.
Yeah, it's like $200 to pull it. And that's like $1,500 for a damn a root canal. So.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I just say pull it too.
Yeah. But other than that, it wasn't a front one, so I'm not going to be like.
I was kind of hoping it was because that would have been pretty good. Yeah. Half your tooth.
But other than that, yeah, I'm doing good. That's the worst thing that happens to me. I can't complain.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Vic, how are you doing?
Good. Life is good. Just doing just kind of coasting right now, doing the whole teaching thing. And on the weekends, I kind of find something that fits around in the house and cleaning house and doing some things out in the yard. And, what can I do next in the garage kind of stuff, I had to take my my coffee table to work so it could be used as a bass drum.
What?
So I had somebody give me an old bass drum many years ago, and I completely restored it to a functional bass drum, and then I turned it into a coffee table. So I made these little feet that fit over the rim. So they sit
Mhm.
on the feet sit on the floor and hold the rim up off the floor. And then on the top, I put some little rubber bumpers on those feet, and I put a piece of glass on it. So I put all my challenge coins on the drum head, and then
Oh,
from
nice.
recruiting, all my benefit tags, ring the rim on the inside. I got a couple other little like a pair of Marine Corps drumsticks that have Marines on them, which is
Yeah.
kind of cool. So I keep that under there too. But I tried to order a marching snare drum and a marching bass drum for our homecoming game coming up on the 27th of September. And not a single distributor or manufacturer had any marching bass drums in stock. It took me calling like
Wow.
6 people to find out that marching bass drums are a special order, and the earliest I could get one is January.
Wow.
Yeah. So this was mid August where I started calling people around and like, hey, maybe a month to get me a marching bass drum. Maybe it had to be shipped from
Yeah.
China or something like that. Oh no, can't get one until January. I'm like, well, I gotta have a marching bass drum, so I guess I'm taking my coffee table to work.
So you should have reached out to Dan Keene. He probably would have had something.
I doubt it. I mean, I reached out to Washington Music, like your Chuck Levine's music, whatever you want to call it. I Music and Arts, Sweetwater, Steve Weiss, and who else? Woodwind Brasswind, and one more other. I can't remember, but like it was like 5 or 6 people I reached out to, and like all the big ones out there. Even
Yeah.
Steve Weiss couldn't get it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
So
you guys got to know somebody in the band field that has a bass drum that they'd be willing, they could donate or drop off the books.
yeah,
There's got
that's
to be
next.
somebody.
Okay.
That's next. I was thinking about calling Paris Island and say, hey man, you guys looking to dermo some shit? Just do an because we're not a government organization. I don't know how that would work. Since we're not a public
There's
school.
ways around it. I mean,
Yeah, maybe.
You should just go and go over and just say, hey, you got an old crappy bass drum I can borrow? And I'm sure they'll let you borrow it. Well, I don't know.
Oh,
It
yeah,
depends
maybe.
on who's there, I guess.
Yeah.
If I was there, I'd give it to you.
Oh, thanks, man. Well, today's cigar, I already took the band off. This is a smoke factory made by Drew Estates. They are not a high-end cigar. They're one of my guilty pleasures. As far as cigars go, they're considered around the low end. They retail anywhere between $3 to $5 a stick. So they're not that expensive at all. But I think they have like if I'm not mistaken, like Indonesian filler, some real weird like that. They're just cheap cigars, but they're infused with a little bit of sweetness to them. So they're just a nice little sweet flavored cigar. Probably can find them in most gas stations, Mike, if you're looking.
Yeah. Nice. Right next to the Swisher Sweets, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
no, those definitely would be under the counter. They wouldn't be out with
Right.
the next level before that would be like the backwoods, and
Yeah.
they keep those under the.
Very nice. Oh man. All right. Well, hey, let's just jump into it and see what we got going on. So we got is it veteran news? Yep, veteran news with Mark.
Okay. I was surprised when I found this organization. Have you ever seen those? Like a lot of people see them wearing T-shirts or jackets, whatever, with taps across the back, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen them. All capital letters, taps. I never really looked into it. I thought it was kind of just some organization, just some kind of a civilian company, really. But I was, flipping through the internet on veterans thing, and I came upon it. So it's the TAPS means, let's see, Tragedy Assistance Program for Survivors. It's a national organization. That helps, once again, survivors, and they've been around since 1994.
No kidding. Wow.
Yeah, and so they're nationwide. Uh, they help all the surviving families of military who have died. It doesn't matter how they died, whether it be disease,
Oh, wow.
accident, combat, whatever. And so they do. Like I said, they're really more active than. I don't know why we don't see them more, and why they don't have commercials. Like the Wounded
Yeah.
Warrior Project does, or things like that. But they so the mission of TAPS is to offer comfort and support for surviving families of military loss, regardless of location or manner of their death. So part of the commitment includes advocating for improvements in programs and services by the federal government through the DoD, the VA, the Department of Education, Department of Labor, Department of Health and Human Services, as well as the state and local governments. So they're very active in legislature, and that's one of the biggest ways that they fight for the families of our veterans that have passed away.
Right.
So they once again they got passed the comprehensive remarriage bill, so that a survivor of a spouse can remarry without losing all the benefits that they were receiving from the veteran's death.
That's a big deal.
Oh, it's a big deal. Big deal. The surviving spouse and family would probably be on medical care and things like that, and they would lose it if the spouse got remarried. So they
Right.
So they're fighting for that, to get that changed. Let's see, improved dependency and indemnity compensation. So they're working with Congress to pass the Caring for Survivors Act to bring dependency and indemnity compensation payments in line with benefits for the surviving spouses of all federal employees. They were fighting, and they helped to ensure the implementation of the PACT Act that just got passed a while ago, so that it's an easier process to be approved for things, such as the burn pits and Agent Orange,
Right.
and things like that. They helped expand medical health services for the survivors. They pay a tribute to all Gold Star families. Yeah. They
Wow.
support, so they want to strengthen the death gratuity also. So they support a minimum of 50% of the death gratuity for eligible surviving spouses. And they want to, says to name to more accurately reflect the intended purpose of the payment and sensitivity towards those newly bereaved survivors. So
Yeah.
paying out the death gratuity from the insurance policies that we all sign our names to.
Right. Now,
So-
does this company, it's a nonprofit, I'm assuming?
It's a nonprofit. Yes, it is.
Okay.
It sure is.
And now I'm assuming they also do fundraising and things of that nature, or donations, something like
They
that.
sure
is how they
do. So
things?
their website is taps.org. You can go on there and find all about them, resources, and actually how to donate. But also, so a couple more things they do: provide TRICARE and CHAMP young adult coverage and parity with the Affordable Care Act, and that's where the surviving child can stay on the benefits until they're 26.
Yeah. That's important, man. That's really important.
Yep. They're also fighting to create a one GI Bill for all veteran survivors and families.
Wow.
Yep. So
That's
they want
great.
to phase out. They want to get completely phased out of the old Vietnam era dependents education assistance,
Right.
Chapter 35, and get it all into one bundle.
Wow.
And you want to make sure that they protect and preserve commissary and exchange benefits for the surviving spouses who remarry They want to make sure that they're retaining
wow.
these benefits. So they're very active. They're lots very fighting with Congress or fighting in support of the veterans at Congress. And so
Right.
I was very surprised with this organization and why it's not advertised more.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
it
think
is.
we're doing our part. We're doing
I have
our part
definitely
here to
seen
get
the
that
shirts.
word out.
Yeah,
I've seen the
I've
shirts.
definitely seen them.
I just thought it was a regular civilian organization.
Yeah, yeah, that's
And
great.
it's great. They've been around since 1994.
Mm-hmm. And what was the website one more time?
TAPS.org.
Taps.org. All right. Man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
Very cool.
dad died active duty. So I actually used Chapter 35 benefits to pay for most of my college. And I remember going to the doctor under the back when I was using the benefits. You were allowed to stay on the insurance until you're 23. So backing it up until 26 is even better. But yeah, I remember going to the dentist when I was 23 years old, and the nurse was like, "Well, this is your last chance. Sorry. Hope you're getting everything you need done today."
Goes,
Wow.
Yep. Then I'm joining the Marine Corps.
Yep. And then 3 years later, I joined the Marine Corps. Yep.
How old were you when you joined, Vic?
26.
You're 40 what?
What?
You said 40 something. Is that what you said?
26. Thank you for asking.
Oh, 26, right. I knew that. Anything else, Mark?
None of this time.
All right. Sounds good. Then we're going to jump over to military news with Vic.
All right. Biggest thing in military news right now is in a memorandum published today titled Our Enduring Duty to America's Service Members and Their Families. Secretary of Defense Lloyd J. Austin III announced a new set of initiatives which are part of an ongoing taking care of our people priority that began 3 years ago. So this is initiatives to take care of our troops. Latest initiatives include establishing healthcare flexible spending accounts for service members, providing greater access to free wireless internet in unaccompanied housing or the barracks, decreasing the cost of burden associated to permanent change of station moves, lowering the cost of procuring uniforms for enlisted service members, expanding spouse employment and professional development opportunities through the My Career Advancement Account or the My CAA program, increasing access to affordable quality childcare and early childhood education, and improving quality of life conditions at remote and isolated installations.
Wow.
Yeah. So I kind of looked, the establishing healthcare flexible spending accounts is, I thought that was a little weird. So as a part of a service, a part of focus on service members and military family health, the department plans to offer service members the ability to contribute up to $3,200 a year and pre-tax earnings to pay for eligible healthcare related expenses. So that could include insurance co-payments, cost shares, deductibles, braces, glasses, contact lenses, prescription drugs, and wellness treatments such as acupuncture, acupressure, massages, chiropractic care, etc. And looks like that will be going online March of 2025. Yeah. The My CAA is a scholarship. It's a $4,000 scholarship for spouses. It was for spouses of members E1 to E6. It is now E1 to E9. And officers from Warrant Officer 2 or Warrant Officer 2, Warrant Officer 2. They've added Warrant Officer 3, and now it's they include O1 to O3. So spouses of those ranks. And it's like I said, a $4,000 scholarship for them to use to go back to school or get certifications or anything like that.
I'm assuming they have to apply for it, right?
Yes, of course. Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see. There is a website. Let's see, what's the website? Where'd it go? It is you can access it through MYCAA or MyCAA at militaryonesource.mil. And it will give you through the, see if you're eligible, browse through careers, search for programs and schools, discover additional resources. There's a whole bunch of links on the page. So MyCAA at military1source.mil. Let's see, and I think that might be about it. In minor news, there is a call to all riders gear up for the 24th annual Fleet Ride Rumble Through the Tunnel. So for the riders in Virginia, it's in October. Where'd it go? Sunday, October 20th at the Bayside Harley Davidson. I can't. It's hard for you even to say those words. Bayside Harley Davidson in Portsmouth, Virginia. Let's see. And I think. Oh yeah, that's about it.
You said that's a national ride?
Well, anybody's invited. It's actually a pay-to-ride event. So registration is $20 per rider. It's let's see. Rumble Through the Tunnel began 24 years ago at Bayside, the other motorcycle place owner, and military retirees who choose the Navy Marine Corps Relief Society as a benefactor of this fundraiser. So it's a fundraiser for the Navy Relief Society.
Very cool.
Yeah. So if you're in the Portsmouth, Virginia area on October 20th, registration is from 10 until 11:30, and I think kickstands are up at 11:30.
Very nice.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with doing a ride, especially through the tunnel. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it's a fundraiser through. I've used the Navy Marine Corps Relief Society. So when my grandmother passed away, I was a sergeant. I didn't have money to pay for the airplane ticket, so I went to the Navy Relief Society, and they paid for my ticket. Fly home, see my grandmother.
Yeah, they're a pretty good organization.
Yeah.
They also have different things for like debt and things of that nature. They will go through your finances and help you set up a budget and those types of things as well. We used to send Marines over there for that a lot. But yeah, same type of deal. If Marines, need money for whatever reason or whatever, they'll go over. Now that they'll sit down with you, like anytime you're asking for money, they're going to talk to you a little bit about money. Ask some personal questions. Like why is your money gone type of thing, but they're pretty lenient, especially with young Marines, and helping them out. So
yeah, and they do loans, 0 interest loans and grants. So yeah. It's, sometimes and depending on what the issue is, you may not have to pay it back.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, good point. And I know the Marine Corps and the Navy does both every year. That's a big one that that they support or whatever, and that they ask for don't ask for donations. Say you can contribute if you want to, type of thing. But it's 100% contact, not forced to donate. So
yeah. After I came back from my grandmother's funeral, every year until I became a gunny, I was the unit rep for the Navy Marine Corps Relief Society. Would go out, and do the presentations and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Give back,
cool. Yeah. You got anything else for us, Vic?
Well, Aaron's not here, so I was going to touch on current event.
Okay. Which current event? There was a very interesting current event that happened today, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. FBI says Trump was target of apparent second assassination attempt. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
You talking about a dude that has made people mad.
The deep state.
FBI said on Sunday that former President Donald Trump was target of a suspected second assassination attempt in as many months after his campaign confirmed that shots were reported in his vicinity. The FBI responded to West Palm Beach, Florida, and is investigating what appears to be an attempted assassination of former President Trump. A representative of the U.S. Secret Service separately told the news conference Sunday that a Secret Service personnel opened fire on a suspected gunman located near the property line, adding it's under investigation. While the Palm Beach sheriff said that the officials recovered an AK-47 style rifle with a scope, 2 backpacks that had ceramic tiles inside, and a GoPro camera. Yep, Secret Service agent that was stationed near Trump while he was golfing, was able to spot the rifle barrel and immediately engage the individual, which took off running. Photos shared by law enforcement on Sunday showed what appeared to be two black bags hanging near the fence golf course. A firearm had been seen between them and pointed through a gap in the fence, and the GoPro was hanging to the side. Suspect was between 400 and 500 yards from the former president, who was also intent on filming what was going on. Let's see. Individual was near the fourth or fifth hole of the golf course, which was 2 holes ahead of where the former president was located.
Wow. So he was almost there.
Yeah. But he was apprehended. He jumped into, I think somebody said he jumped into a black Nissan, and whoever saw him jump into the car took a picture of it, and, gave it to officials. So they were able to track him down quickly.
Wow. Holy moly.
Yep.
Now, so he's alive, right? And in custody.
No injuries were reported.
What do you know? Did they say anything else about like motive and those types of things?
Not yet. All that stuff is still going, but oddly enough, NBC's Lester Holt blames Trump and Vance for the second assassination attempt. It's your fault somebody's trying to shoot you.
What?
You don't say. Oh, man, I tell you, these news organizations never pass up a good opportunity for a story. I tell you. Holt suggested just hours after the Secret Service agent stopped the second would-be Trump assassination in 8 weeks, that comments from both Trump and Vance about the impact of the massive influx of Haitian migrants on small Ohio town had led not only to that, but to threats against hospitals and schools in that town. Yeah. How dare you complain about being shot at?
That's weird.
Huh. Yeah. Good job,
Wow.
NBC. Maybe you guys, maybe NBC should host the next debate.
Yeah, there's not going to be another debate, right? Isn't that what Trump said? He's not going to do another one?
Well, Trump has said there's not going to be another debate. But I think his team, middle line as opposed to, I mean, ABC caught a lot of flack, and is still catching flack. People are starting to call for investigations because there are documents within ABC that says they were planning to only fact check Trump.
No kidding.
Yeah, whistleblower came forward, right?
Yeah.
How long is that guy going to live?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, but is it going to make it? Is it going to really make any difference? I mean, even if they do prove it, I mean, unfortunately, it's just.
Well, like we were talking before, like the whole debate, from what I saw, like if you were already a Trump supporter, all right, you're going to be a Trump supporter. If you were already a Kamala supporter, you're going to be a Kamala supporter. Those that are in the middle, I don't think that they were confident with either one, and probably the majority of them were like, screw it, I'm not even going to vote. I don't know that, but that there wasn't a whole lot of, I guess, persuading one side to come to the other. That's for sure.
Yeah,
according to the articles, they are.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Mike.
No, go, Vic, go.
I was going to say, when you got the news organization only fact checking one candidate, it's like it's literally was 3 against 1. And then they gave all these softball questions to Kamala Harris, to which she had memorized responses. So she looked more prepared, but like she didn't really answer any questions. It was all about feelings and joy and unicorns and rainbows and whatever. So I mean, that debate did not move the needle at all.
Yeah, I would agree with that
for either side.
Now, Mark was in Texas when you watched it, weren't you, Mark?
I was.
How did that go over? I mean, you're in a different state. You weren't in California at this point. So, did that influence you any being in a different state?
No, not at all. I was in my room watching it alone, so it didn't matter.
Yeah. Good point. Yeah, you missed the discussion. We chatted about that on our last podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So it was pretty interesting. All right. Anything else there, Vic?
No, something I'll tag on at the end. But
Okay. Sounds good. Well, I think the time has come. Good news with Mike.
Always good news.
From you, yeah.
Good news is Mike, and good news is synonymous. I mean, it's like, what do
It's
you
a good
expect?
point. Yeah.
I bet my wife's in the living room would say differently. But, I mean,
No. She knows you're full of good news.
I'm full of good news.
Yeah.
She didn't say anything.
She's ignoring you.
Yeah, pretty much. She's tired, so she's probably half asleep.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, this article I read is from April, so it's a little older, but it was still actually kind of interesting to me. It says revolutionary music therapy helps paralyzed man walk and talk again. It unlocked his brain.
Huh.
So the patient was left almost completely paralyzed from a rare disease, is now walking and talking after a music therapist prescribed him listening to his favorite song every night, which in his case was the Carpenters. I can't honestly, the Carpenters, but it's like, okay.
That's right up Mark's alley. He's all about the Carpenters.
It was the era, but I wasn't a listener.
No, Mark listened to the Monkees and stuff like that. I mean, that's
There you go. Yeah.
But anyways, 71-year-old Ian Palmer was struck down with Guillain-Barré syndrome last June of last year, forcing him to spend 7 months in the hospital where he was unable to walk or speak.
Wow.
A rare condition happens when a person's own immune system attacks their body motor nerves, causing muscle weakness and sometimes paralysis. It selectively targets the motor nerves, and you have to wait for that to regenerate. And somebody half his age, that is possible, but when in your 70s, it's almost quite impossible.
Wow.
He said, I was in intensive care, having to be suctioned 24 hours a day because I couldn't swallow, and it led to choking and aspiration issues. Says his speech was affected by the syndrome because it caused damage to his larynx, causing him the inability to speak and at that point even swallow properly. Said he couldn't cough, he couldn't, so he literally was at any given time was almost choking to death or suffocating at that point.
He almost had to have somebody next to him 24/7 then.
Well, that's what the article was saying. They had to nonstop, just like a little kid get the little squeezy ball, but
yeah,
clear his throat and everything out. But he said he was transferred, and this, what I'm reading, this article is from England, but was transferred to a neurological center, the country's state-of-the-art care unit in Lancashire, England, where clinicians use music therapy techniques to overcome near total paralysis of his body. His specialist taught him what she calls mindfulness techniques using his favorite records, and he began listening to the Carpenters every night. When you think about that, it's just kind of odd. Okay, you listen to something. At that point, all I would do is have Metallica playing in the back of my head all night long. That's all I would hear or something, But he said, I was admittedly skeptical. He said, but now after not even quite a year, I can walk 2 miles a day.
What?
He said, I can have conversations with family. And he said, the exercises have opened my brain to heal. He said, I've never been a musical person, but he said, I did listen to radio and records. When Sue asked me, well, who would you want to listen to every night? He said, I instantly said the Carpenters because that's what popped in my head.
Huh.
He said, I'm a typical man. I thought, what's a girl with a guitar going to do for me? It's not like she's taking me to the gym. But he said it actually worked. Claire sat me down and explained the process. I learned that music is very unlike other therapies as it opens every part of your brain.
Mhm.
She taught me to sing a long note using his diaphragm, like we all do, well, us wind instrument people do. You two
Yeah, us drummers
peckerheads
don't do it.
you
Yeah.
two peckerheads don't know much about that, but I mean,
Yeah.
he said, I told her when she told me that, he said, I don't even know what a diaphragm is. But she explained it by calling on a diaphragm. You're training the brain so that it can use other muscles in your body, which in that point will train your brain and reconnect those nerves. He said it's opening the pathways. So apparently he learned this technique. Sorry, I'm reading here. He said,
it's all
I
right.
have since been discharged from the clinic. And
Wow.
was amazed at the difference music therapy made for his experience. He said, my mother told me, she said, I never thought, apparently if he's 71 years old, his mother has to be relatively up there in age too. But he
Yeah.
said, my mother said she never thought she would ever see me as a normal human again or be able to walk through the front door of my house. So now when I go for
Wow.
walks, I wear headphones and listen to music and do my vocal exercises.
Holy cow.
It's just, music is a, universal thing, kind of like food. But,
Yeah.
people really don't realize that what music can and can't do. I mean, hence the reason I think Mark's even said that. And, we know this, that, music has been a part of militaries throughout the world for years because of what it can do, what it can, the feelings it invokes. I mean, but just to think that somebody can actually say, hey, you listening to something and concentrating on it and just trying to think and to sing, or just to even basically, even if you just sing in your head or just try to breathe it, what it can do to reconnect nerve endings in your brain to, and it did say later on the article, it said this is actually a therapy that's now being used in a lot of stroke victims too at that point. So it's pretty interesting.
That's really cool. They also have the music for veterans, PTSD and stuff like that. There's an organization that like buys guitars for them and helps them, and they write songs and all kinds of stuff. There's one guy that was doing it, and I can't remember the name of the organization off the top of my head, but there's one guy that's like on country music now that kind of started with that, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it helps. I don't know. I suppose it helps with PTSD. They say it does.
Actually, when I left in 2012, when I retired from the Wounded Warrior Battalion West, actually Harrison Ford's brother used to come in, and he was running a program teaching the Marines music.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
Terry Ford. He was a self-proclaimed hippie draft dodger. And so he wanted to do something to kind of make up for that. So he used to come in, and I can't even remember the name of the program now. I don't think they have it. But yeah, he was come in and help teach them music.
Now, did you see any like results from that whenever they were going
No,
through
it started right as I was, right before I was leaving. So it wasn't in place that long.
Yeah. Interesting. That's really cool. I need to reach out to the guy that does the I think it's called, might be Guitars for Heroes or something like that. I can't remember. I need to reach out to that guy. Maybe we can have him on the podcast sometime to kind of talk about that. That'd be cool. Mike, you got anything else?
No, I didn't. This is from earlier in the week, so I didn't overly research for too much positive news or good news. So I apologize.
That's okay. Hey, one good news story is better than none. That's what I say.
Especially
So-
from its when it's the Marvelous Mary News by Mike McNanny.
Oh my God. We are totally changing the name of your
So what?
segment
So what
there,
was
Mike.
it? What?
The
What did you
Marvelous
just-
Mary News by Mike McNanny.
I like that.
That's perfect.
Marvelous Mary News.
I
That's-
just
there you
came
go.
up with that. That's you inspire me, Mike. You inspire me.
Well, at least I inspire somebody.
You inspire us all, Mike.
Dang
We
right.
are the world. We are the children.
You know
That's
any
good.
Neil Diamond for Mark?
Yeah.
Come on, Mark. Give us something. Come on.
Let's see. I
Now
can't
what-
do no Neil Lemon.
Now, what did you listen to growing up, Mark?
Something like Hank Jr. was big.
Oh
the
yeah,
Eagles,
Hank Jr. Yeah,
the
the Eagles.
Eagles.
Yeah.
Aerosmith. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, so kind of those.
That's funny because that's the
Waylon Jennings.
same music I listened to, and I was at
Yeah.
least one generation behind you there.
Yep.
Maybe two. I don't know.
Yeah, it was stations that were playing. It was all of that rock. Like 70s,
Yeah.
70s country and rock. Like that.
Yeah.
Leonard Skinner. Yeah.
I was just
Leonard
going to say,
Skinner.
yeah,
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
Leonard Skinner. Yep.
Nothing
yep.
wrong with some
Foreigner.
Leonard Skinner.
Foreigner.
Did you
But
know
I was a
the,
big Eagles fan? I was a big Eagles fan.
Did you ever go see him in concert?
No.
Fabulous concert. Now this was
That's what I
their
hear.
what is it? Hell Freezes Over tour. When they all got
Something-
back
yeah.
together or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. My wife bought me tickets. I was in high school still. Well, we were both in high school, I guess. But we drove from Oklahoma to Little Rock and watched the concert. Man, it was like, I don't know, like 3.5, 4 hours long. I mean, it was
the
incredible.
last time they were down here in San Diego at Petco Park, it was like overflowing. It
Yeah.
was sold out.
I remember two things. My sister, my oldest sister, used to travel around and be one of the, what do you call them? One of the roadie girls or they
Groupies.
just followed the band. What
Groupies?
is it? Hip groupie. There you go. She was one of the groupies for the Eagles and would follow them
wow.
from place to place. Yeah, back when they was, they were popular back in the day. But so my sister used to do that. She probably had a couple of drugs at some point in time, I'm sure.
When
Yeah.
CCR, I grew up with CCR
Oh yeah,
and Bob Seger.
very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all the good stuff.
The good
Rolling
stuff.
Stones.
Rolling Stones.
They don't have anything like that anymore. It's not the same.
No.
It's just not the same. What are you gonna do? I had another
Boycott
thing I was gonna
Yankees,
say. I
that's
don't
what I'm
remember.
gonna do.
There's a
You're
lot
gonna
of the older the country stars, 70s, like Conway Twitty, T.G.
Oh, yeah.
Shepherd, and Alabama was coming up,
Yeah.
about then, right as I was joining the Marine Corps.
Alan
Yeah.
Jackson was becoming popular right around then too, wasn't he?
He was
Maybe a little bit
later.
after that.
Yeah, he was a little later.
Yeah.
Yep. George Strait
Yeah.
was though.
George Strait was big.
Strait.
Yeah, you're right.
I
Yeah.
picture Mark being a Beatles fan. I don't know why. Just
No, not too much Beatles. Some songs, but they're pretty communistic, so couldn't stick with them.
Definitely more of a Monkeys guy. Got it.
yep, monkeys. Take
The Bay
last
City
train to
Rollers.
Clarksville.
The Bay City Rollers and the Partridge Family.
Yeah. All right. Got some good stuff there. I like it. Wow.
Molly Hatchet.
Oh, I remember.
Remember Molly Hatchet?
Oh yeah. Heck yeah. That's good stuff right there. I remember what I was going to say. The Eagles, or no, was it the Eagles? The Eagles, no, shoot. Was it the Eagles? Nope. Leonard Skinner. The original drummer for Leonard Skinner was a Marine.
Oh, really?
Did you guys know that? Yeah. Yeah,
Did not
there's a
know that.
documentary out there that talks about Leonard Skinner, how they got started and stuff like that. And the original guy's a Marine. He wears a cowboy hat and he has a big Eagle Globe and Anchor on the center of it. He got real long hair, you know. I think I don't know if he quit or got fired. I can't remember, but he didn't stay with them forever. But yeah, the original drummer was a Marine. I thought that was cool.
I was in a community band with the original drummer for Iron Butterfly.
Were you really?
Yeah. He's a
Where?
good guy. Yeah. In San Diego.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Huh, interesting. What is your claim to fame? Who is the most famous person that you guys have met? Oh man, you got to think about this one. Think hard. I'll tell a quick story while y'all are thinking. I was in San Diego, and the wife got us. She's like, Zach Brown Band is going to be playing at this dive bar. This is right when Zach Brown Band started out, right? Or I guess right when their first song, I think it was Chicken Fried, kind of was becoming popular, right? So we went to see the show, and it was literally at a dive bar. It's like 100 people max type of thing. So we get in, and we're sitting at the bar, and I'm drinking, man. I'm having a good old time. I'm enjoying Zach Brown Band. And my wife hits me. She's like, bam. She's like, look over there. That's Kid Rock. And I'm like, no, it's not Kid Rock. And I would look over, and he gets escorted, sits down kind of in the front, and he's just there to hear the band, right? So after the show, I kind of stumble up, and because the drummer was incredible. So of course I've got to go talk to the drummer. So I go up and I'm slurring my words. I'm sure I sounded like every other drunk in the bar. And the guy's like, "Oh yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, I appreciate it." I was like, "Okay, well, you have a good one." Right? They're packing up their own gear. They weren't even popular enough yet. They're literally packing up their own gear.
Really?
So yeah, oh, yeah. So we go out the back door, and we were going to walk around to the front of the building, right, where the car was. And I was not driving. The wife was doing that. But so we walk out, we come around, and as I'm coming around the front, right, that front corner, I ran smack into this guy. I mean, I knocked him almost on his ass. That's how hard we collided at that point in time. Who was it? It was Kid Rock. I almost knocked Kid Rock right on his ass. And I'm like, "Oh, dude, I'm sorry." And he's like, "It's all right, man. We're all drunk." And he stumbled off. I was like, that was cool. That was my one claim to fame right there. That was good. Yeah, it was good. Kid Rock.
Hmm. When I was in the Quantico band, we went up into New York. We played basically a Pato for a fundraiser, which we weren't.
You can't
supposed
just
to do.
say Pato. You got to explain what it is.
Patriotic opener. So basically played a couple tunes and national anthem, and Color Guard came out and all that kind of stuff. But it was an event where proceeds were being donated to veterans with not PTSD, traumatic brain injury. But I mean, there was a lot of high profile people there. So Bruce Springsteen, shook hands with him backstage. Conan O'Brien. Yeah, they were all there. Because it was like three comedians were there to do some stand-up stuff, and Bruce Springsteen was donating a motorcycle, one of his motorcycles. And they were auctioning it off that night on stage. So all these people there. Conan O'Brien was doing a stand-up routine. Robin Williams did a stand-up routine, and I want to say it was like Whoopi Goldberg, and maybe one other, Lewis Black, maybe.
Okay.
And then so that was that. And then what was the other? I was on the Price is Right show. They had the Marine Corps band come up and play Price is Right, so I got to be Drew Carey. And it was one of those. It was like a Veterans Day broadcast of the Price is Right. So like they had the audience broken up because it was before Space Force. They had the audience broken up into 4 sections. And every time they went to commercial break, Drew Carey would always come right to the Marine section and only talk to the Marines. He didn't talk to anybody else. Yeah, but we got to go on stage to take pictures and shake hands with Drew Carey. It's kind of cool. I met President Bush too. Shook hands with President Bush.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Did you wash your hand after that?
No. Hello. I mean, never mind. No, like we went and did a paddle for a golf event, and he was like the guest speaker, and he like went out of his way to come find the Marines and shake our hands.
Very cool.
So I got a picture of shaking hands with President Bush.
I don't have anything that cool. Mike, Mark, you guys, what is your claim to fame? What do we got?
Well, Mark's probably got all kinds of stories.
I get when I was Sergeant Major of 2nd Battalion, we had Aaron Eckhart coming through before he wanted some like military, experience, not an experience, but just to be around some military before he did Battle of Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So I took him all around the battalion or all around the depot, and then took him to graduation.
Very cool.
Then a couple of years after I retired, my friend's grandson was graduating boot camp. He was a chosen Reservoir Marine, but LL Cool J was there in that day, watching his friend's son graduate.
No kidding.
I got to meet him.
Wow. LL Cool J. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that.
That's about my famous stories.
Yeah. Mike, you got any good ones? Come on, hit us up, Mike.
I think I'm sure I'm not the only one that's ever met him, like Lee Ermey.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure a lot, especially if you were to, I was never stationed at the depot, but I'm sure those that were at San Diego probably.
Yeah, he used to come to the DI Association reunions and stuff.
Yeah, but probably actor wise, or we played for Bush. He actually came and talked to the band at Pendleton, but it's not like he came up to me individually and shook my hand or anything. But probably the one I did was here at Albany. We did for recruiting district in New York. I can't remember which recruiting district it is, but we were up there for 2 and a half, almost 3 weeks.
Wow.
Playing. We played. It was right after 9/11, so we actually played a ceremony for 9/11 up there, and but we did it was the recruiting district had a big function on the Intrepid, floating museum up there in New York, and Harvey Keitel was there, and he flat out went out of his way to, they brought us out, we played, they put us away, they brought us back out, we played, they put us away, and there was a lot of other people there, and I can't remember who all, like celebrities and politicians and stuff were there, but they stuck us back somewhere on the ship. We're just kind of sitting there eating cold food. It was like ham and cheese sandwiches and potato chips and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, he just comes tooling in the room, and he's like, "God damn it. I kept asking where the hell you guys were at. And I had to freaking finally come and find you." And he literally started walking the ship, and he found us, and he stood in there and talked for probably 20, 30 minutes. Just in general, just talking. And he shook everybody's hand. And he said, "I just want to tell you how proud I am, and it really makes me feel good to see you guys." He said, "I don't know why the hell they bring you out and put you away." That's how he was saying it. He said, "They bring you out, put you away, bring you out, put you away." He said, "If I had my way, you'd be out there." No, it was really neat. He just, just the fact that he went out of his way. He was nobody with him. He just was by himself.
Yeah.
And he came back and talked and was just, just telling stories and how much he loved the Marine Corps and what we did and how much he supported what we did and the difference that we make. And it was kind of neat,
Because he's a Marine.
Absolutely, he was.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good stuff. Good stuff. I did meet Mike Rowe at the San Francisco Marines Memorial. No, Marines. What is it? Marines Memorial Club? Is that what it's called? Yeah.
Marine Memorial Club.
Yeah, Marine Memorial Club. So he was there. He wasn't the guest of honor or anything, but he was there. in the audience. And I remember they kind of like, oh, hey, Mike Rowe is in the audience. So for any of the Marines, make sure you go up and say hi to him while we're out here. And he's in the audience. He's like, gee, thanks, appreciate it. And so after whatever, we're walking around. Of course, they put on a big show for their, they have like 4 different ballroom type deals and different bands playing and stuff. So I'm walking around listening to different bands at the end, and he's standing out there, and somebody's like, hey man, Mike Rowe's over there. And I was like, all right. I was like, let me get a picture. I'll get a selfie with him. So he was talking to somebody. I was like, well, I'll just get a selfie behind him. Right. So I kind of did one of these things, and I was snapping a picture, and he turned around, and he's like, why didn't you just ask? I would have done a picture or something. And I was like, oh, I didn't want to bother you. Of course, at this point, again, I may have been drinking too much, but so he's like, here, let's do a real one. I was like, okay. So I'm fumbling with my phone trying to take the picture, right? And he's like, are you kidding me? He's like, you can just press these buttons right here and it'll take the picture. And I'm like, whoa, that's amazing. No, I didn't know that. And I was like, well, and that earlier that day, one of the young Marines had shown me those animojis. I think that's what it's called, Animoji. Is that right? Anybody?
Yes.
No? Okay. So Animoji, I just figured out what that was, and they created one for me and everything, and it's like you can record yourself and the little character talks, right? And so I was showing him that, and I was like, look, one of my young Marines showed me this today or whatever, and he was like, oh man, that's really cool. And I was like, hey, here, record something for my wife and I'll send it to her. And he's like, oh, okay, yeah, sounds good. So he gets my phone and he records the thing. He's like, hey, this is Mike Rowe. And he said something, da 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 da. And he's like, apparently I got a goddamn cowboy hat on. Because the Animoji did. And so, of course, I sent that to the wife, and she thought it was funny. But right before that, he's like, hey, can you send that to me? And I'm like, uh-huh. Yeah, you bet I can send that to you. And I was like, how do you want it? He's like, just text it to me. And I'm like, okay. So I prepped it, and I'm like, here you go. So he goes in and he types his numbers in, right? And he hits send. And then you could see everything over his face. He's like, oh no, what did I just do? And he looks at me. He's like, don't you F me on this. Don't you F me. So I still have his number saved in my phone. But anyways, that was my other claim to fame, Mike Rowe. Pretty good dude. All right. You guys want to talk about anything else, or y'all want to call it quits?
I met Gary Sinise too.
Oh yeah, Gary Sinise, yeah.
Yeah, when I was at Miramar, we played basically for an event that was to honor all the surviving Medal of Honor recipients, which they are their own celebrities, in my opinion. They're a whole nother level of celebrity. But there were, oh my gosh, there was probably 45, maybe 50 Medal of Honor recipients there that night. I mean, it was amazing. Wow. And he was the MC. So the band was in the room with everybody. Like it was like a giant ballroom. It was actually not a ballroom. It was the atrium to the Reagan Library. Have any of you guys been to the Reagan Library?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the where his aircraft is in the library. There's like an atrium down below. That's where all the seating was at. So yeah, but so we were down there with everybody that was eating dinner. It was like a giant ball for everybody. But the band was there too, and he came over to the band and introduced himself to the band. So I got to shake his hand there too. But yeah, so yeah, that's it. I think that's it. I quit.
Very well, very well. Well, we'll go ahead. We didn't do it this last time, so we're going to go ahead and do it this time and see what everybody has. Mark, you think you're going to get beat this time?
I don't know. Yeah, I've got to have some time to practice. Some time to do some research.
All right. Well, words of wisdom. Here we go. Let's start with Mike this go around. Mike, words of wisdom. I know you were watching Hallmark movies, so I know you got something.
No, I didn't get anything off of that. It wasn't nothing inspirational at that point, but All right, from Abraham Lincoln. The best thing about the future is that it comes one day at a time.
Ooh, yeah, that's good. I like it. Abraham Lincoln. Yeah,
He's
all
got a
right,
few
Vic.
on there. He said, if I were Two-Face, I'd be wearing this one.
That is a good one.
Probably the one everybody's probably heard before is better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to speak out and remove all doubt.
That's me. I like that. Oh man. All right, Vic, what do you got?
To handle yourself, use your head. To handle others, use your heart.
Huh. Okay. I can see that. Who said that?
Eleanor Roosevelt.
Nah. Really?
I like
Huh.
her quote about the Marines, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a good one. That is a good one. What do you remember it off the top of your head?
We probably shouldn't say it on here.
Well, but it's true. Oh man. All right, Mark. What do you got?
Okay. And in the to kind of echo Mike and the Abraham Lincoln's quote about the future, and to have you speaking about micro and working and doing your best and everything. So I found a quote that says, just because someone thinks you're garbage, don't worry about it. It's called a trash can and not a trash can.
That's good. It's a trash can, not a trash can. Oh shoot. All right, Mark, who said that? Who was that?
I have no clue.
Oh, that's a good one. I like it. It's a trash can, not a trash can.
So I went and saw a movie yesterday that was a really good movie. Am I Racist? I highly recommend it. By Matt Walsh. Highly recommend. First of all, it's hilarious, but it's a documentary, but it's also very funny. They set out to make it a comedy, but it is very eye opening.
Really?
About the whole DEI industry and how people are making money hand over fist to call you racist. People are paying money just to have themselves called racist. It's ridiculous. But
wow.
Yeah, it is absolutely crazy. You need to go you need to go see the movie. But two of the quotes that stood out to me from the movie was one of them. The first one was racism is in high demand, but low in supply. Racism is high in demand, but low in supply.
Low in supply.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the other one was you're not calling me racist because I am. You're calling me racist because you want me to be.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And what's the name of it again? Am I Racist?
Am I racist?
And what's it on? Is it in theaters?
It's in theaters right now.
Is it really?
It's in theaters right now. Yeah, it was the third highest grossing movie this weekend.
Wow. No kidding.
Yep.
Yeah, he's extremely controversial, with people. It's like, okay, what defines a man? What defines a woman?
Yeah.
He goes, well, somebody, well, how can you as a man say how a woman this and that? He goes, are you a cat?
Yeah, I saw that.
He goes, so what defines a cat? And it's like,
yeah, Matt Walsh is the star of the show, but he's the one that did What Is a Woman?
Yeah.
Which was only released online, but this one was released in theater. And when we went, it wasn't a packed house, but I would say the movie theater was probably at least half full.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. So I hope it does well. And like the people that he was targeting, if you will, in the show. One of them was an organization called Race to Dinner, and it's you basically pay thousands. I think we looked it up, and it was like $25 a head. You pay, and then they organize a dinner somewhere. It changes from it's never in the same place twice, But you go to this dinner and it's two women basically just teaching you and telling you how racist you are. And then telling everybody how Republicans are Nazis. That's a direct quote. And this is not made up. This was not make believe. This was not fiction. This is actually happening. He snuck in. You're only allowed to be a woman to go to this race for dinner, but he got in to be a server. So he was like serving, pouring water and passing out rolls and stuff like that. White rolls, by the way. You want another white roll?
Is that what he said?
A lot of funny moments in it, but there was a lot of uncomfortable comedy in it. It was like him, like, I just don't get it. Can you explain this to me? And like, they had I want to say a token black guy was on their crew. And he kept bringing them out. Hey, come on out here. I want to sit down. You know what? I feel so bad for you. I want to give you reparations right now. He pulls out his wallet and he's talking to Angela D'Angelo or something like that.
Beverly D'Angelo.
Yeah. She's was the author of White Fragility.
Maya Angelou.
Yeah.
Maya Angelou.
But the book White Fragility is like one of the best-selling books for DEI stuff. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. So she goes out, she hires herself out $15,000 for 2 hours, and you can interview her for $15,000 for 2 hours. And so he interviewed her, and so he brings out this guy on the crew, this black guy on the crew, and he's like, you know what? I just feel bad, and he's in disguise. So he's got like long hair with a man bun on and everything. But he's like, you know what? I'm not going to wait for the system to catch up. I'm going to give you reparations right now. Here, I got like $30 in my wallet. And then he looks at her and he goes, "Are you gonna do anything?" And she goes, yeah, sure. I can give you some money." So she goes to her purse and breaks him and gives him $30. I mean, it was hilarious stuff. Yeah, I highly recommend going and see it. Am I racist?
Well, if I ever went to the movie theater, I'd go see it, but I don't typically do that. I'll wait till it comes out on video. Wait, that was back in the day. Never mind. I'll wait for it to come out on the, I don't know.
Yeah, go get it at your local Blockbuster there, buddy.
Yeah. Whatever.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was for Mark. Sorry.
All right, guys.
Big deal.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, Mark still listens to his 8-track, so just calm down. Just calm down.
My first truck had an 8-track
and then had a cassette adapter.
Yep.
Yeah, buddy. That's good stuff right there. All right. Well, hey, guys, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. To all the listeners out there, if you're struggling, you need help, anything like that, don't forget the VA does have some great resources. Reach out to them. You can dial 988, press option 1. You can also text 838-255, or you can go to veteranscrisisline.net, click on that chat icon. Any of those options are going to be able to put you in contact with somebody that can help you out. I care about you. The crew cares about you. The entire veteran community cares about you. So please reach out for help. And if you're out there, you're doing good, and you're not struggling at all, then look out for your buddies that you serve with. Reach out to them, ask them how they're doing, and if they need help, give them a helping hand. All right, with that, guys, one last time, thank you. I appreciate it. To all the listeners, stay motivated, change your socks.